Hey Bunker Labs, welcome to the All In interview series. I can't wait to welcome our guest today because she is going to give us a lot of resources for a subject that has come up a lot during the pandemic, which is finding a mentor. So welcoming Colleen Deere from American Corporate Partners. Hey Colleen.
Hey, thank you so much for having me today. I appreciate it.
So before we get ACP up on our resource page, which they will be there very soon so that you can connect with mentors, I just want Colleen to kind of introduce ACP, what they do, what the services are, and how you can find them.
Great. So we're a nationwide nonprofit. So ACP, we've been around since 2008, and really our bread and butter is a customized mentorship program that's open to veterans who've served on active duty since 9/11, and then about a year and a half ago, we opened up our program to support active duty military spouses as well. So the beauty of ACP is that it's completely customized and personal to you. So we have many folks who are taking advantage of our program who are entrepreneurs. They may have a business idea, but they're not sure how to get it off the ground, or they may be more advanced where they've got, a thriving business, but they still want tips and to be able to connect with somebody to really help them grow that business. We have mentors from about 85 different companies. Some of our companies that partner with us are Amazon, Home Depot, Johnson & Johnson, Morgan Stanley. So really any industry that you feel kind of connected to, most likely we're going to be able to find a mentor to help you with whatever it might be that you need assistance with. It could be as simple as somebody to review a business plan, or maybe you want to just build a network of people to give you advice and kind of have some people in your corner. So that's what we're all about. We've got about 3,000 veterans in our program right now, about 500 mil spouses, and we're looking to grow. Our only goal is to help those who have served to be more successful in their endeavors, whether that's transitioning off active duty into a corporate career or transitioning off active duty into startup life. So we're very broad and personalized and have the ability to really kind of tailor the mentorship to what it is that you would like to work on.
And how do you feel, with the customization, how do you feel that ACP is a differentiator from other mentorship programs or offerings that might be looked at as more advice? If you could talk about, that difference with ACP.
Yeah, so for us, we try to take a very in-depth approach to the pairing process. So I think that's one of the things that really sets us apart. So what we do is, as soon as a veteran or a mil spouse applies to ACP, within 24 hours, our team is going to reach out for an initial phone call. And during that phone call, it lasts about 20 minutes or so. And that's after you've completed a short online application that just asks you for a little bit more information about your professional ambitions, and if you have a business, kind of what your business is like. But we'll have that phone call with you to really get a sense from you of what type of person do you want to work with. Are you looking for somebody who's super high touch, that's going to be texting you, multiple times a week? Or do you prefer to have one in-depth phone call every month? Do you want somebody who's going to really tell it like it is? Or do you want somebody who's maybe a little more laid back? Do you want somebody who has a background in finance? Do you want somebody who's got tons of experience in reviewing marketing plans? So during that phone call, you have the ability to kind of bounce ideas off of with my team of kind of what mentor you think might be a good fit. But then before we actually pair you, and we've evolved to this. So we've been doing this for 10 years now, but we're constantly adding different steps to the process. So a few years ago, we started, before we officially pair people up, we'll do what we call a pitch. So we'll send you a quick blurb about a mentor that we think is a good fit. But that way you kind of have that final buy-in. If you don't think it's a good fit, you can tell us why, and we'll go back to the drawing board and try to find somebody else for you. And along those lines, if we do pair you up with somebody and you get a few months in and you just feel like the conversations have stagnated, our team is constantly going to be in touch with you to get feedback. So that way you can be straight up with us and say, hey, thought it was a good fit. It's really not working. Can we find somebody else? So we're very hands-on, and we try to be pretty personal in the approach to that pairing process, which I do think is a bit different than some other mentoring programs where you may have a large volume of mentors, but you don't have that personal attention being paid to making the right match up front. And then the other difference really for us is that, while I do think it's important to have multiple people you can rely on to get advice and have quick phone calls with, these mentorships are a bit more in depth. It's going to last for a year. So that way you really have the chance to open up, get to know each other, and develop a plan for the mentorship for that year. So what our mentors are committing to is to be actively engaged with the veteran or spouse that they're working with for a whole year. So for an entire year, you have that person at your disposal for these career coaching and entrepreneurial conversations. So these mentors have made that commitment, so you don't have to worry that you're bothering them. And I think that that really stands out about ACP is these mentors are super committed to making you successful.
That's great. Yeah. And I mean, I'll just disclose, I've gone through the ACP system and actually was one of the first military spouses when you guys opened it up to military spouses. And it's definitely a proven method of, mentorship matching, which I think is very unique. And, right now, just, being realistic as we are all going through this pandemic and stay at home, why is this a good time to start a mentorship relationship? Why is this a good time to start those conversations?
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was just speaking about that earlier this morning with somebody. I mean, this is now, I think, more than ever important to be intentional and deliberate about your own career and professional development. Chances are you're stuck at home. You don't have maybe as robust a social calendar as you might have had a month ago. So now's really the time to be, thinking about your own development. Where do you want to be 6 months from now? Where do you want to be in a year? And those are exactly the conversations that you'll be having with your mentors. So I think having a mentor really helps too, because it holds you accountable. If you know that you have a conversation in a couple of weeks with your mentor, they're going to ask you, what have you been up to over the past couple of weeks? Have you made progress on the things that we discussed during our last call? And I think especially while things right now are just so uncertain, having that person in your corner to help hold you accountable and keep you on track makes this, the perfect time to really be taking advantage of a program like this. Not to mention the fact that all of this, these mentorship conversations can be conducted from the privacy of your own home. So you'll never have to worry about, I wanted to have a mentor, but now that we can't meet in person, what do I do? So that's not a concern at all, because all of these mentorships will be done virtually. So it's, very easy to just hop on Zoom, hop on a call, and get mentorship basically at your fingertips.
That's a great point. So Colleen, before we wrap up here, where can people go to find you? What is the first step in the process? And how can they find out more about the mentors that they might be matched with?
Great. So our website is acp-usa.org. acp-usa.org. So that'll be really the first step for you, is to visit the website. You'll see there's a separate application for veterans and a separate application for mil spouses. So you'll go onto our site. It takes about 10 minutes to complete your application, just a bit of personal information, some contact info, so that way we can reach out. Like I mentioned before, we reach out within 24 hours, so you'll hear from us right away. So you don't have to worry about, hey, is this the right time? Is this going to take a year? No, we'll get in touch with you really quick. After that, we'll have that phone call with you. We'll learn a little bit more about your background, any preferences that you have. If you really want to work with somebody who is former service, tell us that. If you want that full civilian perspective, tell us that. And then our team gets to work. It usually takes us about 3 to 4 weeks to find the right mentorship match for you. And then once we do that, we'll get in touch, and then you'll be off and running. So we try to make it as easy and seamless as possible for you to get started. And then the best part too about this program is that ACP staff is going to be checking in with you as well. So about every month or so, you'll get a quick text or phone call or email check-in just to make sure you're doing well, see what you think about the match, make sure that it meets your standards, and then we'll try to get a feel from you, are there any other resources you need? We have a lot of resources on our website about building business plans, marketing material, things like that. So that way you can just keep in touch with the ACP team and we'll try to point you in the right direction.
That's awesome. Well, Colleen Deere, thank you so much from American Corporate Partners. We really appreciate your time and sharing this awesome service and resource with our community, our military connected community. And we will be posting those links below in the comments so that you can find them and start your mentorship journey.
Thanks so much. Take care, everyone.